Okay, so today is August 3rd, and the topic of today's reading from the book Affirmations for the Inner Child by Rocker Lerner is Adolescence. Today I will strengthen my spiritual powers with the courage of my adolescence. Maya Angelou writes about adolescence. Few, if any, survive their teens. Most surrender to the vague but murderous pressure of adult conformity. There is nothing very valiant in teenagers' struggles to grow up in our culture. They must fight for their spiritual life, and they find an inner courage that, in their adult life, may astonish them. They confront old labels and limits within the family and society, and they dare to be different. In a certain way, teenagers create role models for their future adult selves. In my family of origin, my conflicts were unacknowledged or discounted as mere rebellion. As an adult child, as an adult child, I forgot the image of my teenage spiritual warrior. Today I will dare to be different. I will strengthen my spiritual powers with the courage of my adolescence. So well, yes, that is the reading of today, which is inviting us to become a little bit rebellious, right? And well, it's a little bit contradictory with the reading of a few days ago, which were telling us, well, it was telling us not to accept authority. And likewise, right, it's telling us now a little bit to, well, not to conform, right, with the social rules, right, and with the social establishment, right? Some people say, well, you, you must first know your enemy so that you can actually tackle it. And that is true, but I mean, the lack of understanding, right, is what creates rage, right? Is what create anger, right? It creates anger, the lack of understanding of something, right? And it's a little bit dangerous. I don't like. I mean, I'm more like a pro authoritarian person or pro status quo. I cannot say I'm a very rebellious person, or at least I consider myself a passive aggressive person, right? And it's difficult, right? As a teacher, it's difficult to take on the rebellious side, right? Especially because people, well, we are taught to be pacifists, right? We don't, most people don't like violence, right? And again, and it comes down to, well, what do you think violence is? Most people think that just because you're going to scream and shout, that's just to become rebellious. No, that's just stating your point in a very loud voice. Are you going to gain anything with that? I would say no. You can be rebellious, but you can be rebellious in a different way, in your own way, right? In your own path. It's difficult to acknowledge that there is rebellion and there is violence in passive aggressiveness, right? And it's very valuable. So, well, again, it all entails with it all ends up with what do you regard as being rebellious, right? Because again, there are many ways in which you can change the status quo, and breaking it or trying to break something that is unbreakable is not one of the ways, right? Improving on it might be much better because you are actually breaking something. So be careful with that at the very least, right? Become rebellious, yes, but do it smartly. Some people don't like to say that we have to know your enemy, right? Because I have seen people say, well, then people don't actually do anything. But you could, right? The problem is that you actually could. You could break your enemy by just showing it in a different way, right? That there are different ways, right? Again, it's not easy, but it's much preferable, right? In any way, that's the reading of today. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave any comments below, subscribe to the channel, share through social media, and as always, if Providence allows it, we will meet each other in a different day.